Welcome to this week's episode of the Relly and Deli podcast. I'm Relly.
And I'm Deli.
And today we are reviewing the psychological thriller and comedy Bugonia.
Bugonia. Yes. Bugonia.
Which literally did not know what I was saying. I guess I've never seen Bugonia spelled out as a word. And literally, 10 minutes before we hit record, I was like, Bugonia? What the fuck is Bugonia? And immediately I was like, at the same time, Trindell says, it's a flower.
Yeah. It is a flower. But they do spell it different.
Oh.
I think I was gonna say that I think it's the font too. That font, I don't know what's going on with that. But they use it in the poster, they use it in the trailer, they use it in the credits and the opening credit. And it's very thought-provoking. I'll be interested to see exactly how they develop that.
Based on the movie, I definitely think there's like a key reason, but we'll talk about that more towards the end.
Ooh,
for sure.
Okay. Let me wet my whistle so I can give us a bit of a rundown of who's involved behind the scenes on this.
Yes.
So, this movie is directed by Yorgos Lanthimos, and it is starring Emma Stone, Jesse Plemons, Aidan Delbus, and we see Alicia Silverstone here.
Yes.
As far as Yorgos Lanthimos, which I love that name. That name sounds like I'm about to summon something, or I don't know. It's just something that's so official. He's a Greek director. But at first I was like, I don't think I know anything of his. But after a little research, I see that we saw Poor Things, which he directed that.
Yes.
He also directed a movie called The Lobster, which I've heard a lot of things about. The Favorite, which also starred Emma Stone.
And Poor Things, right?
And Poor Things also starred Emma Stone. Okay. And then The Killing of a Sacred Deer. I've never seen any of these other ones aside from Poor Things, but I've heard good stuff about them. And so they have definitely been on my list for a bit. And the thing of, there's one of the movies that he did, Kind of Kindness, that stars Emma Stone and Jesse Plemons. Okay. They're both in that. So it's I would love to watch that and kind of see what their dynamic is exactly.
Yeah.
Because, And so, everybody knows Emma Stone, but if you don't know Emma Stone, she's been in great movies. Poor Things, La La Land. She was in the live-action Cruella, as Cruella.
Yes.
The Amazing Spider-Man, Easy A, The Help, Zombieland. Yeah. I feel like I can just go on and on and on.
Yeah.
As far as Jesse Plemons, he's been a great deal of things as well. Some standouts are Breaking Bad, Civil War, Game Night, Like Mike, of all things, 2002, Like Mike.
That's crazy.
And Black Mirror.
Yeah.
So those are our mains here. The third person I mentioned, Aidan Delbus, this was his first movie.
Yes.
So he's definitely gonna. I'm excited to see what he does next, and I really feel like he's gonna make a great name for himself, because this is a great way to start.
Yeah.
Fresh out of high school, boom.
Yes.
Love that.
Yes. All in all, this was a very interesting film.
Mm-hmm.
So before we get into things, do want to give you a soft spoiler alert.
Soft spoiler
okay.
alert. Wow. Very soft.
Soft. We took that survey. Thank you to everybody who answered the question and gave us your insights. Mm-hmm. So we're going to be reformatting, doing things a little bit differently.
A little different.
We won't be going through the entire film beat for beat, scene for scene, like we normally do. Mm-hmm. I am going to give you like a brief general synopsis of what the film is about. And then, as you know, as we always do, we're going to review the film and give you our takes on 4 main categories. First being acting and dialogue, second being sound design, third being cinematography, and then fourth being the overall story. And then we'll give you our final takes and our final rankings on a scale of 1 to 10 and how we rate this film.
Absolutely.
Okay? So, Bugonia. Honestly, we first saw this, I think we saw like the trailer once. Once or twice.
Once, maybe twice, you're right.
Yeah, and it is a psychological thriller. It is listed as a dark comedy.
It's not even a dark comedy. Like, in AMC app, they list it as a straight comedy. Yeah. On Google, they list it as a comedy, straight comedy, and then something else. But yeah, either way, nobody's saying dark comedy. Oh, sci-fi.
Sci-fi comedy. Sci-fi. Ridiculous. Yeah. Yeah. It's a heavy film. I actually think it's really important. I do think it's kind of dangerous in a way.
Yeah.
Just because the people who this would benefit, no, it would be a lot. Like, this film touches on conspiracy theories, world history, big pharma, mental health, especially in the United States.
Yeah.
Classism.
It's a lot of things.
It's so much, right? So we start off the film with these two gentlemen who we find out are cousins, and they are beekeepers. They use a specific word for it, which I don't remember right now. But they have their own bees. They live in a modest house out on like a kind of a dirt road. They live in solitude themselves.
Yeah.
And we have the older cousin, Teddy, played by Jesse Plemons, and he sets the tone for the film very well. And he talks about just the degradation of America and the world, how things are going down from health, drugs, specifically through like big pharma, and then like the killing of bees and how that's been going on. And he's talking with his younger cousin, Don, who is played... Let me make sure I get his name correct.
Right, let me get that for you as well. It is Aiden
Delbis. Yeah. Played by Aiden Delbis in his breakout role. Aiden is autistic. And for one, I'm so happy that we're giving people with autism the opportunity to play roles that they can play.
Exactly.
We don't need, non-autistic people taking on roles.
Right.
We don't need, people who aren't in wheelchairs taking roles of somebody in a wheelchair, unless in the film specifically the person has to eventually walk or something.
Right.
It's unnecessary. Like, you can just cast someone. And you find and discover people when you give people chances and opportunities. And he did an amazing job in this film. He's probably, to me, one of the most important characters. To me, he's the most important character, actually. Yeah. So the two of them are talking about the destruction of America. Yeah. And at the same time, scenes are interspliced, and we see Emma Stone's character, Michelle Fuller. And she is a powerful...
She's a powerful
CEO
woman. Yes.
Tycoon. She is blunt. She is rigid. And she's about business.
She's about business. And it delves, there's like a bit of a montage. Because you see her like at work. You see her like walking around. And Emma Stone, she did a great job with that. Because she kind of... some of the scenes in this early part of the movie, she's not even saying anything. She's just walking.
Yeah.
And, she's little isms she has going on. But you also see... like her outside of work and like what that's like, and she's like training with like a personal trainer or doing yoga and stuff, stretching, and she takes a lot of like pills, supplements and stuff like that. So it looks like she's very health conscious.
Yeah.
And she's no slouch.
Absolutely
when it comes
not.
to that.
And mama is rich. Bitch driving around in a G-Wagon, blacked out, expensive. And, we first speaking roles, we really see her in her office filming a sensitivity training video. Diversity training video. Yeah. Also, we can tell that it's after something happened. Right. Something happened company-wide. And, it was kind of like being somebody who worked for a big retail store, when something happens internally and then they gotta kind of course correct. Yeah. And, it's this amazing scene where it's just like, hey, just let everybody know they can leave today at 5:30, 5:35, everybody could go home. Just do it in a way that they know that they can go and they don't have to stay. Unless they have work and they need to stay. We are a business. Mm-hmm.
And everything needs to get done. We need to hit our quotas.
We gotta hit our quotas.
But if you want to go, if you gotta go. Go.
Unless you don't. Stay. Yeah. If you have work. And it is so great.
Masterful.
She's doing her diversity training video, which she kind of was right. They had her saying the word diversity too much. Yeah. Script written by a black man. And she was wrong. She was just like, you gotta stop with the diversity. Yeah. He's like, but it's diversity training. She's like, well, diversify the vocabulary of this speech.
Exactly.
She ate him up. Hilarious. Yeah. So we got these two cousins who ultimately decide that she is the reason for the destruction of America, what's going on. Exactly. She's a part of it. And they plan to kidnap her.
Exactly.
And they take this woman hostage. The comparison through bees in the film is something that's like very important and it's very good. They talked about it in the beginning of how we're a dying colony. Yeah. And this film doesn't really address race, but having a predominantly white cast say a lot of the things that they're saying, it like kind of dances around the subject.
Yeah, because it definitely has class in the forefront. Yeah. And I think those things are intertwined. Race, class, and that type of those type of subjects. You can't really talk about one without talking about the other. So I do think they definitely danced around that, but it is a predominantly white cast.
Exactly. So, yeah, like one of the biggest parts is when they take her and she gives them the rundown like, hey, I'm important.
Yeah. Phenomenal.
I'm wealthy. I run an industry that like impacts the region. Yeah. And I'm a affluent, female CEO. Right. The only thing she didn't throw around was her being white. Literally. Right. But like, it's implied.
She's like, you essentially kidnapped the governor.
But worse. Okay, you don't want what's gonna happen to you. Yeah. If you don't just let me go.
And there's nothing good's gonna come out of this for you.
Yes.
She said.
And some of the important things to talk about is the dynamic that we have going on between Teddy and Dom. Because Don has autism. And Don is such a light. I think this film really addresses a lot of the conversation that's happening now, unfortunately, with a lot of ignorant people on what autism means and the capabilities of the autistic people.
I was thinking the same thing.
In America.
I was thinking the same thing.
You have Don's autism juxtaposed to Teddy's actual paranoia,
conspiracy theorist, obsession.
And having these two things side by side that are not the same, that's often treated as the same by everybody in this country.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
Even some of the dialogue with Don, and he's like, well, you're the smart one. You're the brains of the operation. Yeah. And he's like, no, you're smart too.
Exactly.
Like, he's like, that doubt that you have, that, I heard it in your voice. That's part of the problem. The system is,
exactly
influence.
Exactly. So the film goes, they kidnap her. Yeah. And they have her in her house, and it's a countdown to 4 days to the lunar eclipse.
They have her in their house.
Sorry. Yeah. They took her from her house with her car to their house. And they have her trapped in the basement.
Correct.
And they're convinced that she's an alien.
They are convinced. And when they kidnap her, they're wearing these Jennifer Aniston paper masks. And I'm like, is that to, in the mind of a conspiracy theorist, is that to appeal to her, to someone who looks like her?
Yeah.
Or, and that's why I kind of thought about, like, you're going to capture this, this beautiful white woman that's powerful. You should appear as a beautiful white woman.
That's very interesting.
I thought about that just in passing. I'm like, we want to blend in, but it's not fooling anybody. It's literally a paper mask.
It's literally a paper mask. Yeah. I don't know. I think...
And that's where the comedy comes in. I wouldn't define this as a comedy, a dark comedy, but a drama first, for me.
I'm going to do a big swing.
Uh-oh.
And I think with everything that's going on, especially now in this country, I think with a lot of the hateful rhetoric that's going on, the fact that they decided to pose as a woman to basically attack and kidnap a woman,
right, is
something that, like, people say is happening and the numbers say that it's not happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just like this illogical fallacy that people are spewing to just be hateful towards, the trans community for once. And because they could have gotten any mask. Most people do president's mask. Why would you get a Jennifer Aniston mask? And then when we look at all of the conspiracies and stuff that's going on. But yeah, so you watch the entire film and it's really just mind-bending on what it is going on. Exactly. I had my feelings, and I told you before we were walking in on what I felt like about what was going to happen.
And I said it, I said it in passing when we saw the trailer.
Yeah.
We'll definitely have to discuss that because we are trying not to give you guys the whole kit and caboodle of it all. But yeah, it's such a journey. Bugonia. Come on, Bugonia. Bugonia was a ride, y'all.
It was.
And it is such a journey on just the way, what's the word I'm looking for? It's just digging deeper and deeper and deeper into this character, Teddy.
Yeah.
His theories, his mindset, and I think Don is he kind of plays as the audience. He's like, well, okay.
Right.
It's very much okay.
Correct.
And then, are you sure?
Checks and balances.
Or, very much that.
And
I think that's why he's so relatable and such a heartfelt character, I feel.
So let's get into it. What we're first going to dig into is the first category, which is acting and dialogue. Okay? So what did you give this film in that particular category?
Acting, dialogue, I gave it a 10. Just because there's some good, monologues of sort delivered by both Emma Stone and Jesse Plemons. I mean, we talked about one briefly earlier where she's giving him the rundown. Yeah. This is how this is going to play out.
Yeah.
This is not going to go well for you guys. That was a phenomenal, read down of sorts.
Yeah.
And also, her office jargon. Let's have some dialogue here.
Right.
Let's unpack this.
Right.
It was just
not
spot on as someone who, I guess, we would consider corporate, not really corporate America, but
I think we would.
You think we would be?
Yeah,
okay.
we just work at home.
This is our our side gig. Our main.
Oh, absolutely.
Our main thing.
Do you know how many times I hear, let's circle back. Let's
circle back. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I even say that too, but I'm talking to someone I wanted just to circle back and remind you about.
Correct.
Oh.
And I'm right. That's how it happens.
That's us.
And I'm in sales, so it's super aggressive,
But
I also give the acting and dialogue a 10. There was no one else who could play any of these characters. This group together, and for the majority of the film, it's 3 people on the screen.
Yeah, and it doesn't feel like that. It just hit me now that it's really just the 3.
And they're so good, and it's such kind of like
dynamic.
intimate scenes with these dynamic characters that when we see other people, it's like, get out of here. Get out of here. You know what I mean? Yeah. Let's see. I think that in the dialogue, you hear just like the breakdown of Jesse, who I do think is mentally ill. Jesse Plemons' character, Teddy,
is mentally
ill. He is paranoid and he's just doing some dangerous things. And then you have Don, who is not. Don has autism.
Right.
He's not paranoid.
Right.
He's not dangerous. He doesn't have any of the violent tendencies.
That's actually genius. I didn't think about that either.
Yeah, it's like the juxtaposition. And the truth of the matter is that Don was there the entire time. And his confusion to what Teddy was saying is not just because he has autism. It's because, Teddy, you're not making sense, baby.
Exactly.
You're
very
manic.
realistic. Yeah.
You're so out of control, and it honestly, for me, it was heartbreaking. It was so exhausting to a degree, because just watching Don just try to like listen to him, and Don was so aware of all of the things, what he feels, and Teddy couldn't touch it. Yeah. Teddy could not touch his feelings with a 10-foot pole, and he was so avoidant in exactly what was going on. And he couldn't be questioned about anything. You know? He said something to him. Don was like, what happens if we get caught? Yeah. And Teddy says, we literally couldn't get caught because there's nobody on the face of this earth who even cares about us to see us.
Both very powerful lines. From Don asking.
Yes.
You know, the concern, and then the other side of nobody cares about us on this whole earth.
My goodness, that armor is the fact. And how do we look at people that have intellectual differences? How do we treat people who do have mental illness? Exactly. It's not the same thing.
Exactly.
And how do we treat people who are impoverished because they did not have money?
Exactly.
The state of that house was probably one of the most anxiety-driven things for me watching it. It's just like, this is just so much, but also it was so real. I know
it was very realistic, and I thought the same thing because it was like the house wasn't like filthy or in disarray. Like, it wasn't like there was a bunch of trash and stuff everywhere. It was just a house that was worn down and had been lived in. Yeah. And I'm like, I was thinking about that when a character comes into play where he's a visit of sorts. And I was like, just looking at the place, I'm like, yeah, it's really not it's kind of unsettling in the realism, maybe.
Yeah. It's not like Shelby Oaks.
Yeah.
Which would have come out before this. Where like she goes into the woods and sees that rundown, moldy cabin in the house.
Yeah, it's not your typical like, oh, this is a spooky, haunted, bad things
house.
Go on
No,
here.
No,
it's not.
It's just people live here. They don't have a whole lot of money.
Exactly.
You know? A great thing with the dialogue as well is the scenes, and this pushes towards cinematography as well. Yeah. In the beginning, when they're introducing like the dangerous, destructive. They wanted to kill us, manipulate us. And that's when they introduce Emma's character.
Yeah.
And they're using the words mirror to show
they do exactly. A really good job
and lead you up to hate her.
Yeah.
That's what they want.
Yeah, they do.
You know?
They do.
He said something else, talking about clearing all their minds of psychic compulsion. So Teddy is so steadfast in his belief of doing this that he wants to eliminate all distractions, such as video games, porn, watching too much TV, as well as all sexual desire to the point that he chemically castrates them.
Yeah. And then at this point, where I don't know about for you, but for me, it was like a tipping point, because I'm like, he's really off this is really giving mental illness. He's really off the deep end with this chemical castration. And I'm like, and this is when he comes into play as just a full-blown unreliable narrator at this point, because I'm like, what even are you even giving? What's even in those syringes?
Exactly.
He said what it was, but is that what it really is?
You know, and like, I think it was.
You think
and
so?
You know, it to a degree it makes sense, especially like, you know, it makes sense from the sense of like, I want to be so focused, I don't want any type of worldly desire, right? Going to those extremes are so bad. But honestly, could cry because Don, this isn't a real, Don is a character, not a real person.
Exactly.
So exhausting to hear him be silenced by Teddy. The only other family that he has, who he trusts and he loves and he listens to.
Yeah.
And then it's like, I already agreed that I wasn't going to do any of this stuff. Why do I now have to actually chemically castrate myself? And he was like, you're not going to need this. You're not going to need desire ever. Yeah. And he was like, I thought that one day I would be able to have love in that type of way. And he was like, no.
He said, I want to be with somebody.
And he's like, no. And he's like ignoring him and shutting him down so much that it was frustrating the hell out of me. His innocence is so heartbreaking. Aiden Delbis did a phenomenal job as Don.
He really did.
Where they're trying, it was very funny, the juxtaposition of Michelle doing kickboxing, got her trainer on the floor, and they're in there trying to do sit-ups and like push-ups and burpees and like so sad. They couldn't even afford like mats. They were doing it on towels.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like too much. I won't get too personal. But they don't have a lot. The only thing that they have is each other. And unfortunately, Teddy is calling the shots. Right. And he's not making the right choice.
Yeah.
And, simple things too, like just a few more so we can move on. Like Don was so impactful for me. It's like when they were doing their thing, they're doing the workout, and he laughs at Teddy. He's like, you look funny. Yeah. And that upset Teddy so much. And then Don did it. He was like, I think I look funny too. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then it was when, they kidnap her and they have her and they're up in the room. And he's like, oh, this suit is too small. And he's like, no, it's fine. This is my dad's suit. You look great. And then he was just like, no, I'm not going to wear this suit. It's too tight.
Right.
And then he was like, no, it's fine. She won't even be looking at you so much, and you don't even need to talk to her. And Don is like, this is not about her.
Right.
Like, this is about me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't validate myself off of her or anybody.
Exactly.
Like, I just don't want to wear it.
And that is a very good point. It's a good juxtaposition to Teddy. Because is it about her? Yeah. Or is it about something else? Like, what's your motivation really behind all this?
Yeah.
And you just so wrapped up in the echo chamber.
Yeah.
So
too much. The back and forths between Michelle and Teddy,
they're so good.
Let me tell you.
The lines, the delivery, just the small little things that are said and used throughout to just incite emotion, like amongst themselves too. Like we were having a good time. Yeah. Now what?
Let me tell you, when they were in the basement the first time.
Yeah.
And she got his ass. I knew he was gonna throw that chair at him. He lost his shit.
Yeah.
She was whipping him, and she does a great job of like, okay, she's cold, she's sterile, she's wealthy, she's rich. Mm-hmm. Is she an alien, or is she just those things?
Yeah. And I think it's very much like it's very believable that she's able to communicate with him that way, and kind of, she's a CEO of a very big company, so she's no stranger to like confrontation.
Yeah, mind games.
Yeah, mind games, having to like, deal with stuff like this.
Yeah.
So it was just so clear, like, well, clearly she's just this. Like, what is,
Yeah.
And you just so caught up in your conspiracy.
They believe that she can read their minds or even control their minds. And that's also why they went with the castration, because he said something like, no one can fuck with us once we do this. No one can fuck with us, not even ourselves.
Right.
And it was like, calm down, Teddy. Like, you're doing too much. And then he asked him, like, don't you want to be free? Mm-hmm. That type of language is so manipulative.
Yeah.
That's things that they use in sales. They use it in like employment.
Right.
certain government bodies. It's that thing of like, don't you want better? Don't you want to be free? But when he asks Don, what does free look like or feel like? And he was like, oh, it feels like when I was a kid before all this stuff changed. And it's talking about like
before
the
everybody went away or something like that. Yeah, he did a really good job just delivering that conveying that emotion. And yeah, I'm gonna get into that a little later on a different point on the point of story. But yeah.
Now sound design, iconic.
Yeah, it was really good. Sound design, a 10.
A 10.
I love a big orchestral, number, score.
Yes.
And it has that, they use that at poignant moments throughout the movie.
Yes.
And it's just phenomenal. It's really good.
The title card that comes in with the Bugonia and the trumpets blaring.
Yeah.
The sound score for this film is so weighted and dynamic.
It's really good.
Kind of like watching an old classic film, kind of like watching a play as well. You know,
old play or an old movie or maybe an old sci-fi movie, like an opera. Maybe.
Yes. And it was so good. The scene where it first gets announced on the news that she's taken. Yeah. They don't have any leads, they don't have any suspects. Exactly. And they immediately go back to the house and he's dealing with the bees. The music that's playing there.
It's so good.
It's so good. And then the music that's playing immediately after he snaps in the basement, throws a chair, and then I can't remember what she said, but he slapped the hell out of her.
Yeah, he did. I think she said something along the lines of, what did she say? It was something about how he wants her to communicate. Something like that, I think.
Oh, yes. So she was rooting for Phil, and she was, calling out his intelligence.
Yeah, she used his words against him.
He used, just like the improper word for the situation. And he was like, oh, whatever. She was like, oh, I guess grammar is just an Andromedon, the type of alien. Just an Andromedon aspect to her. He slapped the shit. Now, he had already done smash the chair. I will say, I laughed like him.
I think a lot of people
because
did.
It was so
it was a comical
crazy
moment. But that slap was a bit of a shift.
Yeah.
There was gasps.
It was gasps. And then, they hadn't really been violent.
They hadn't.
You inject her with a syringe and kidnap her from her property and drive her to the house.
There hadn't really been any physical violence,
right.
Hitting,
Yeah, the violence is being upped in increments. But the sound design overall was so stellar. Unfortunately, we saw it in a kind of a noisy theater. If you can see this, see it if they have it in the IMAX theater, because those tend to be by themselves and better soundproof. Because there's scenes like when the cop came by the house, that was silent.
I knew you were gonna bring it up.
It was just the rustling and everything, but the theater next to us, we heard the music, and I was like, is that music coming from the cop's car?
That's what I was wondering. Yeah.
But it was not.
Car, or if it was coming from another theater. Yeah, if you could see this in IMAX or Dolby, that would be the best way to really enjoy it. Because you're going to get to really enjoy the score. Because the score is just monumental. It's just huge. So I definitely gave that a 10.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Next category, cinematography.
So when I'm thinking back to the movie, I'm thinking that the cinematography was okay, but then I'm slowly remembering there's actually some great things here. Yeah. There's different flashbacks and glimpses to the past that artsy. Are just artsy. Yeah. Otherworldly, and it's just a great depiction of that time, as well as the character who's experiencing that. Yes. And then there's also some great shots and framing with Teddy riding the bicycle. That's some really good stuff. All that to say, I did give it a 9. Just because I guess because I wasn't just right top of mind what was great, but those things were great. Yeah. But I think other than that, it's really just some straightforward shots, or just movie shots. It was nothing that it really stood out to me. That's some crazy cinematography there.
Yeah, I think I give it an 8 myself. Yeah. Some of the highlights and the key aspects, it's going to be when we look at the beginning, when they introduce her and the words are being punched up by the actions that she's doing, and they're setting the scape and really kind of trying to trying to twist our perception of who she is with all of the hateful things that he's saying about her. And immediately she speaks and it's not really good. You know what I mean? And then we have the scene, we could talk about it briefly, but just like the scene with his mom. And it kind of reminds me of this painting of like this person impaled by like a bunch of swords.
Right. I wonder if that was a nod to that. Maybe.
It could be, but it was a bunch of syringes.
Yeah, syringes.
And
they were long.
Talking to his mom, the words that she was saying it was hard to understand. And the idea too was that she was mentally unwell. But everything she was saying was accurate in that depiction, and that she was a part of this study and everything like that. And she was like, "I do it for you." She was doing it for the money. How many people are doing tests on themselves?
Right.
Full disclosure, when I was in Miami, I was like, "Oh yeah, you paying for like blood? You're paying for this and that."
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'll do it. How much? Very simple. Let's go.
Come on, Mickey 17.
And this is the thing too. No reason to do it, but I was at an age too where it was like, I don't want to ask my parents for help. My parents would, of course, help me, but I don't know what the hell I was going through. I think my independence, and because too I was like in the closet, I needed to find some form of independence on myself so that I could come out. And then I was just doing dumb shit. That I didn't have to do. But there are people that have to do these type of studies financially. They have no other opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, I think depending on who you are and who's in your bubble, you may not even really realize that. And see, I hadn't really thought too much about that either until like we're discussing this now.
Yeah.
But I remember like a few years back when that was a thing that people were talking about, or maybe I watched some movie or read some article, and that was kind of at the forefront. But I forgot that people are doing stuff like that. They're like taking parts in studies and doing different things like that to make money. It's a sad time. That's sad that you would have to resort to that.
Yeah. I think the ones that I did were like super simple. It was like, come to this room and sit down and take this test. And I was like, okay.
Oh, okay.
And like, a lot of like 90s shows and stuff like that had people donating blood and all this other stuff. So but it was so artistic how they did it. Those scenes being in black and white. I think about
surreal is the word I was looking for. Surreal, very surreal.
How they showed the house out there, and then of course a lot of the cinematography was really, they spent their money towards the finale of the film.
Yeah,
and
I could see that.
That's where the budget was. A lot of times, like a house out there in an open prairie, but they use the artistic elements, like the close-ups on her face. You know what I mean? The light in her eyes and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Kind of when he's biking and he's trying to get to the hospital and stuff like that. Those different things all count. But I still give it an 8 just because, we've seen more like impactful, crazy dynamic things.
Yeah, I was thinking an 8 at first until I thought about the flashback scenes.
Yeah.
Then just how those were done, then I upped it to a 9.
Yeah, the second flashback was
us talking too. About it, I mean, I about want to up it to a 10, but I'm going to keep it at a 9 because that's what I decided before we started all this.
For sure.
So, I mean, our last point here is overall story. I gave that a 10 just because there's so many things being addressed, like you listed them down, and it's a slow unraveling, even though the movie itself is not slow paced. Yeah. But the details, just the background that you learn on Teddy and his like childhood, you get some glimpses into that. You get some glimpses into like his mom and what she was going through. Yeah. And it's just the slow unraveling of that really lends to the story, and as well as all the stuff and discussion about history and classism and what it means, about these conspiracy theories and mental health and mental differences where autism would come in and how people are perceived. There's a big thing of perception. Yeah. No matter where you are, it's just like, oh, I have autism, so I'm perceived this way, or oh, I'm a CEO, so you think I'm an alien. Yeah. There's a lot of perception is, I think, the big takeaway for this movie for me. Like, just perception is wild. Yeah. All that to say, I gave it a 10 because It's a lot of good stuff in there and a lot of things to kind of dissect and pick apart.
For sure. I gave it an 8 for myself. But I thought that the story honestly was amazing. And it probably could go up the more I think about it. But at first, I just give it an 8. Mainly because I'm the type of person, when I come in to watch these type of films, I'm a sleuth.
Okay.
And I'm going to guess what it is. And if it is what I guessed, you can't be a 10.
Okay.
Just for me, I like to be surprised, and I like to be wrong if me being wrong makes sense. You know what I mean?
Right.
So there were certain things that I was guessing and I was right. There were certain things I was guessing that I was wrong.
Okay.
There was something I can't even say. You guys really should watch it. The finale of the film, Dawn does something that honestly takes the third act to the next level, and really changes all of their lives.
Yeah, we mentioned that,
there was no going back.
Yeah, we mentioned that little things are happening that kind of ratchet up the stakes, and this is one of those. This is the penultimate. It's like, after this, everything's gonna be different.
Yeah,
and it definitely it had me thinking. It played around with my perception, my thoughts. Because I had thoughts going in, and then, within those first 10-15 minutes, I'm like, oh, well, clearly, this is what's happening. Yeah. And then after a little bit longer, I'm like, ooh, this is really starting to, show that this is just, this is insanity.
Yeah.
And then, it just kept going and going. So I understand what you're saying, that...
it definitely, as you're watching, it's like, he's right, he's wrong. He's right. Sir, you're wild. Let's not use the C word, but you out of control.
Yeah, we're not gonna use the C word.
And then looking at her, and it's just like, oh no, you a demon, girl. What? And it just kept going around. But it was pretty good. And then also, so it lost a point because one of the things I thought was right, which was a big integral part, was, and then they lost a point for the cop. It was, I mean, he's a good actor. It's really just, to me, didn't drive the story. Didn't drive the story. Bringing up the dad didn't drive the story. The cop being a disgusting son of a bitch. They danced around that, so that pissed me off.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Their past and everything like that.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I was like, heifer,
yeah.
What? I even put it in my note immediately from the first time the cop stopped them, and I was like, girl, are you... What? Okay. What? And he just kept coming out, and I was like, and then comeuppance and justice happens to a degree. Yeah. To a degree. But it's a roller coaster of a ride.
It is.
I definitely say watch it. It's something that there's a lot of topics that they're talking about, from like the health of bees that's going on,
right?
Land pollution, big pharma, conspiracy theories. The one thing I won't say, because that was a gag with the sun and everything like that. At the very end, there's like a graphic of that's happening every time it counts down.
Yeah, I didn't see that either.
That was so crazy.
Yeah, we definitely recommend going to see it.
Absolutely.
Again, as you can tell, we've changed our format for this reason, because we want people to engage and then see the movie themselves. I think my biggest thing, or one of my things, is that I didn't want this to take the place of watching a movie. Correct.
Correct. So overall, my score is a 9 that I gave for the film.
Mine is a 9.75.
Yeah.
This was I mean, it's kind of crazy to say, but this was really almost perfect for me.
Yeah, 100%.
And the more and more I think about it, I mean, we literally just saw it today.
Yeah.
I feel like my ratings may change somewhere down the line, but I'm fresh out of it, so I'm feeling really good about it.
One of the best movies that came out this year, and that's a lot, seeing that it's November.
That's crazy.
We got about 7
but I guess it is
weeks left. I think so for me. So Thank you guys so much. There's so much more that we have to say that we haven't said
so much
already
that we didn't really get into. But if you guys hear this and you really want us to do like a breakdown, like a full-blown spoiler review, then by all means let us know.
Let us know. And then we got our first recommendation of viewers' choice.
We did.
So we're going to be getting on that, and we're actually going to be dropping that on a coming up Wednesday. So put in a recommendation of what you want us to watch and review. Absolutely. We're going to drop those on Wednesdays. Official movie reviews always happening on Mondays. And then our Reddit reads coming on Fridays. Please make sure that you comment below. Let us know what you thought. Mm-hmm. Let us know what movies you want us to watch next. Get ready for the upcoming holiday. Like, comment, subscribe.
Absolutely.
And then follow us everywhere. We also just got our official X account, Twitter.
Yeah.
Facebook group. Everywhere.
We're everywhere. We have the Instagram page. We got the Reddit page. We're on YouTube, obviously. Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We're everywhere.
We're everything.
We're everywhere. We want you there with us.
You should be.
Yeah.
Why aren't you? Love you. Bye.
Bye.